Welcome back to the channel. This is S.O.G, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look and comparing the Glock 26 Gen 5 MOS to the M&P 2.0 metal compact with a 3.6-inch barrel. Now, obviously, we're going to have a little bit of a difference in price and in weight between the two because the 2.0 is a metal or aluminum frame handgun and the 26 is a strictly polymer one. So in terms of the value and the price, the M&P 2.0 is going to come in at about $800 and the 26 Gen 5 MOS comes in at about $620. The 2.0 comes with two 15-round mags and the 26 comes in with three 10-round mags. Now, as we previously mentioned, the 2.0 has a 3.6-inch barrel and the 26 has a 3.43-inch barrel. The 26 has an overall length of 6.42 inches compared to the 2.0 coming in at 6.85 inches in overall length. Taking a look at the height between these two, the 26 stands at 4.17 inches tall, but keep in mind that's with the flush fitting 10-round mag it comes with. Currently, I'm running a +2 on mine, but if you were curious about how tall it stands with a 15-round mag from the Glock 19, it goes from 4.17 inches tall to 5.04 inches. And when we compare that to the 2.0 that naturally comes with a 15-round mag, you're looking at an exactly 5 inches tall in terms of overall height. Both of these come in at 1.3 inches in overall width, and the biggest difference though is going to be the weight. Now, the 2.0, because it's got an aluminum frame, comes in at exactly 26 ounces, and the 26 comes in at 21.69 ounces. So a big difference in terms of weight, even though they're very similar in overall size. So if you're looking to conceal carry either of these two, I think the best choice would be the 26, simply based off of these dimensions and the mass difference in weight. Next, let's take a look at the triggers between these two. Here is the 2.0. It's got quite a bit of take up, but you get a definitive wall, almost no creep as I'm pulling slowly, and a very nice crisp break. And the reset, very tactical, audible, nice feeling. Let's do it one more time here. Very nice trigger from the 2.0. Now let's compare it to the 26. Now the 26 has more resistance to the trigger before you get to that wall. You have some creep there and a nice break. And the reset on this one, not the shortest reset. I'd say the reset on these are about the same in terms of length, but it's smoother on the 2.0 compared to the 26. So for sure, the 2.0 has a much better trigger than the Glock 26. Real quick, huge shout out to Zero Hawk. I've been running their EM1 enclosed emitter green dot for a while, and this thing is seriously overbuilt for the price. It's nitrogen purged, waterproof, and thermal shock tested, so you're not dealing with fogging up or failures when the conditions change. They even use finite element analysis in their design, and it's been vibration tested up to 5,000 Gs, which is crazy. So because it's an enclosed emitter, you're also not worrying about rain, dirt, or debris blocking your dot. It just runs when you need it to. So if you're looking for a solid, budget-friendly optic that holds up, definitely check the Zero Hawk EM1 out and use code SOG10 for a discount. Now, comparing the slide features between these two, both guns will have front and rear slide serrations. One thing to note though is the style difference. As you guys can see, this one has more waves on it. This one has more straight lines. Neither are overly aggressive. I actually prefer the style on the 2.0, but that's just personal preference. I do prefer the fact that the Glock gives you more serrations up front compared to the M&P though. But one thing to keep in mind is that the slide on the 26 is extremely stiff to rack, especially when you have a full mag and you're putting one in the chamber. So keep that in mind if you're someone who has compromised hand strength or anything like that. That's something that you should definitely keep in mind because it's a nightmare to rack this, especially when you got a full mag and trying to get one into that chamber. Other than that, both do come optics ready. Obviously, as you guys can see, you have some adapter plates that come with the 26 MOS, and then you also get adapter plates for the M&P. The plates that come with the Smith though are plastic, and the ones that come with the MOS are steel, so that's also another thing to note there. The sights, obviously I have aftermarket sights on the 26. You guys know what those OEM or factory Glock sights look like though, but yeah, I swapped those out so we can get a better co-witness on our red dots. And then the sights on the M&P, you get 3-dot system metal sights, not night sights. So factory for factory, the Smith does give you better OEM or factory sights. And then neither come with a striker indicator, but you do get loaded chamber indicator on the Glock. The extractor serves as a loaded chamber indicator. And then the Smith, you have a loaded chamber indicator window. So if you take a peek right in there, you'll be able to tell if you have one in the chamber or not. Neither have external manual safeties, but the Smith does have the option to add that on there. So again, keep that in mind if you're looking for that extra safety feature. The Smith has that option, and I don't believe the 26 offers that. Next, let's take a look at some of these frame feature differences between the two. Now, the 2.0 has a 2-slot pick rail compared to Glock not having anything at all for a light. So hopefully they make those changes to the Gen 6 models. And then we have some nice designs and taperings here, cuts on the aluminum frame to help it give it that premium feel. Your manual controls on the 2.0 are very easy to access. You have your takedown lever, then you have your slide lock on both sides here, so you can access if you're a lefty. Your mag release, you can flip over again if you're a lefty, so it's a good option for you. If you're looking for something that's ambi friendly, the mag release has some stippling to kind of give you that confirmation that you're on it, so you don't accidentally release the magazine. The trigger, like we said, is really good, and I like the way that it looks too. You have plenty of space up front for gloved hands. The grip on this is just perfect in my personal opinion. It's really nicely made with how aggressive it is, but not overly abrasive to hurt you while you're carrying, especially inside the waistband. You don't get a beaver tail on this, unfortunately, but it's not a bad thing. It's still very controllable. You can still get a really nice high grip on it with no problem. And then you get a flush fit 15 round mag. There's no stippling on the 15 round mag, but if you put in a 17 round mag, you can buy a little sleeve and that will match. And that's actually an OEM part from Smith and Wesson. So a really nice touch there. As you guys can see, it's very easy to release the mag so it doesn't get stuck in any way. However, I personally do have to reposition my hand a certain way to get to that release. I can't release it from here. I have to kind of slide over. So again, just something to keep in mind is it ejects the magazines with no problem, but to get to it, I have to readjust my hand a little bit. Now let's take a look at the 26 frame. 26, again, you don't get any light rail or anything like that. The frame is very, very basic, very simple, but functional. You don't have any stippling up here or anything like that. It would have been nice. I mean, you see they kind of added some stuff here. It would have been awesome if they would have added some stippling or of some sort there. But nevertheless, you have manual controls here. Again, pretty easy to access, except the takedown levers you have on both sides here. These are very short and small, so to get the slide off can be a little tricky. You got to really pinch to get that off. But the slide lock is good, and you get that on both sides. Again, ambi friendly. Mag release is here again, and then you have the cuts on both sides of the mag, so you can reverse that over. So again, another good option if you're a left-handed shooter. Plenty of space up front for gloved hands, despite how small the 26 is. The grip on this is nice, but it's, I don't know, it's just very, this is just the basic standard. Honestly, they could have done a better job. I think how short they went with this frame, you would think that they'd give you even more stippling or more texturing above that mag release as well, but it works. It's not, I mean, it's decent. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's just there. You get a slight beaver tail on here, but no backstrap options. But if you have other, Glock models like the 19 or 17, 45, whatever, it'll fit those back straps as well. So you can always cut them to size if you wanted to, and put one on there if you wanted something a little bit different. Needless to say, it's still a really nice gun. It functions very, very well. There's just nothing crazy about it. It's just a really good, reliable handgun here. To get to that mag release is very easy to do. Despite how small it is, I still find that I have to reposition my hand kind of like on the 2.0, which I never really realized until I'm doing it now. But it is a little different because this is much, much shorter. So you kind of figured you'd have to do something like that. With the larger mags, it's a little different. You can get more of a Glock 19 feel with, the plus 15. And let me show you kind of what that looks like on this 26, but I'm sure you guys know. So here we have a standard 15 round mag, and yeah, you can get to that mag release pretty easily there. So this is just an aftermarket grip. And then if you wanted to go 17 rounds with this one, you absolutely can. Again, this is a Glock 17 round mag. The sleeve is to fit a 19. That's why it's not covering it all the way. But then you also can fit this big boy 33 round magazine. So very, very versatile. And that's one of the biggest pluses on this 26. Now I know they have that, the Glock 26X frame or whatever they named it now. That kind of gives you that 19 feel with a really short slide. I personally I haven't got that because I think that the biggest plus on the 26 is its versatility, and it's a very shootable gun with the flush 10 round mag and with anything above that. So I think if you throw that on there, then you just kind of limit the gun. Sure, it might function better than a 19, So if that's kind of your thing, then go for it. But I like the versatility of the 26. But that'll wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are between these two. Don't forget to smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But if you already have, I appreciate you guys so much. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.